Imagine this. You wake up on a Sunday morning. The house is very quiet. Not the peaceful kind of quiet, the heavy kind. The kind that has a weight to it. You reach for your phone and you realize there is no one you urgently need to call. No one waiting for your voice. The people who once filled your days, your husband, your wife, your closest friends, perhaps your parents, they are gone now. Some through death, some through distance, some through the slow, silent way that life simply moves people apart. And you sit there in that quiet and you wonder, is this what the rest of my life looks like? If that feeling is familiar to you, please stay with me, because today I want to share with you 3 truths from the Buddhist tradition that have helped countless people not just survive this kind of loneliness, but walk through it and come out the other side feeling something they did not expect. Not emptiness, but freedom. My name is Mahinda Siritero. Welcome to Lotus Dharma Path. Let me be honest with you from the very beginning. What you are experiencing, this feeling of having no one left, of being unseen, of wondering if you still matter to anyone, this is one of the most widespread forms of suffering in the modern world. Research tells us that tens of millions of Americans over the age of 65 live alone. The World Health Organization has called loneliness among older adults a silent epidemic. As harmful to health, they say, as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. 15 cigarettes a day, simply from being alone. So if you have been blaming yourself, thinking that your loneliness is a personal failure, that something is wrong with you, please hear me clearly. You are not weak. You are not broken. You are human. And you are far from alone in feeling alone. A few years ago, a woman came to speak with me. She was 72 years old. Her husband of 47 years had passed the previous winter. Her children were busy with their own families. Her closest friend had moved away. She sat across from me and said very quietly, "Venerable, I feel like I disappeared." I did not rush to comfort her because what she said was true. A version of herself had disappeared. The self that existed inside that marriage, inside that friendship, inside that daily life, that self was gone. But I told her something that I want to tell you today. The Buddhist tradition does not promise to take away your pain. It does not offer you false comfort. What it offers is something far more powerful. It offers you a different way of seeing. And when you truly see differently, everything changes. There are 3 truths I want to share with you today. Not theories, not philosophy, living truths that you can begin to practice tonight, alone in your room, exactly as you are. Let us begin. The first truth is this: impermanence is not your enemy. In the Pali language, the ancient language of the earliest Buddhist scriptures, this truth is called anicca. It means all conditioned things are impermanent. Everything that arises passes away. Now, when you are grieving, when you have lost someone you loved deeply, this teaching can feel cruel at first. Of course things pass away. I know that. That is exactly why I am suffering. But I want to invite you to look more closely, because I believe most of our grief comes not from loss itself, but from our resistance to it. Think about it for a moment. When someone we love dies, we grieve them, yes, but we also grieve something else that is harder to name. We grieve the version of ourselves that existed with them, the person we were when they were alive, the daily rituals, the inside jokes, the way they said your name, the whole world that existed between the two of you, that world is also gone. And so we hold on. We replay memories. We keep their chair at the table. We refuse to let the river of time carry us forward, because moving forward feels like betrayal. The Buddha understood this completely. He taught that clinging to people, to moments, to the way things were, is the very root of suffering. Not because what we clung to was not beautiful, but because clinging to what has passed is like trying to hold water in your fist. The tighter you squeeze, the faster it slips away, and the more your hand aches. Here is what I want you to hear very carefully. Impermanence does not mean that what you had was not real. It does not mean that love is meaningless because it ends. It means precisely the opposite. It was real because it happened. Your marriage of 40 years was not diminished because it ended. Those 40 years existed. They shaped you. They are woven into every cell of your body, every habit of your heart. The love was real. The joy was real. The belonging was real. Impermanence simply means it was a gift. Not a permanent possession, a gift. And gifts, by their nature, are given and received. They do not have to last forever to be precious. Think of your own breathing for a moment. Every breath you take, you breathe in and then you breathe out. The breath leaves, and you do not weep for every breath that departs. You do not hold the air in your lungs, terrified of letting it go. You trust, you release, and the next breath comes. What if you could bring that same quality of trust to the rest of your life? Not forcing yourself to be happy, not pretending the loss does not hurt, but slowly, slowly learning to breathe with it, in and out, holding and releasing, grieving and continuing. A simple practice for this week. Each morning, before you do anything else, sit quietly for 5 minutes. Bring to mind one person you have loved and lost. One memory, a good one. Let yourself feel the warmth of it. And instead of saying to yourself, I lost them, try saying, I was given them. I was given 40 years with this person. I was given the gift of that friendship. I was given that season of my life. This is not denial. This is not pretending the pain is gone. This is reorientation. You are slowly turning the compass of your mind from loss toward gratitude. And gratitude, even small, quiet gratitude, is one of the most powerful medicines the human heart possesses. When we stop fighting impermanence, something remarkable happens. We free up an enormous amount of energy. Energy that was spent in resistance, in clinging, in wishing things were different. And that energy needs somewhere to go. Which brings me to the second truth. The second truth is this: your solitude can become a sacred space. Now I want to make an important distinction, one that I believe could change everything for you. There is a difference between loneliness and solitude. Loneliness is a wound. It is the painful feeling of being disconnected, unseen, unwanted. It is something that happens to you when the connection you need is absent. Solitude is something different altogether. Solitude is chosen stillness. It is the experience of being alone without being abandoned. It is the capacity to sit with yourself in silence and find that you are not empty there, that there is something present, something alive, something worthy of attention. Our modern culture, especially here in America, has a complicated relationship with solitude. We have been taught in 1,000 subtle ways that being alone is a sign of failure. That if you're sitting by yourself on a Friday evening, something has gone wrong. That a full life is a busy life, a surrounded life, a life packed with activity and people and noise. But the great wisdom traditions of the world, and Buddhism in particular, have always known something different. Silence is not emptiness. Stillness is not death. Solitude, practiced well, is one of the doorways to the deepest form of aliveness. The Buddha himself, before he became the Buddha, before the Enlightenment, before the teachings that have changed billions of lives, sat alone under a Bodhi tree for 49 days. Not because no one wanted his company, not because he had nowhere to go. He sat alone because he understood that certain depths of understanding can only be reached in stillness. He was not running away from life. He was running toward the truest part of it. Now, in Buddhist teaching, alongside impermanence, there is another truth called anatta, often translated as no self or non-self. This concept can sound strange at first, so let me explain it in plain language. What it means in practical terms is this: you are not your roles. You are not the wife of or the husband of. You are not the mother of or the father of. You are not the employee of or the retired person who used to be. These are roles you played, beautifully, importantly, but they are not the whole of what you are. When those roles fall away, when the marriage ends, when the children leave, when the career is finished, it can feel as though you have ended, as though without the role there is no one home. But there is someone home. There has always been someone home. That quiet presence, the one that is aware right now as you watch this video, the one that notices your thoughts and feelings without being entirely swept away by them, that is what the Buddhist tradition invites you to discover. Not a role, not a story, something more fundamental, more stable, more enduring than any of the circumstances of your life. And solitude is the laboratory in which you discover it. Research in modern psychology is beginning to confirm what contemplatives have known for centuries. Regular periods of quiet, even 10 to 20 minutes of simple mindfulness practice per day, have been shown to lower stress hormones, reduce anxiety, improve emotional resilience, and increase what researchers call a sense of connectedness to the world at large. Not connectedness to specific people, connectedness to the world, to life itself. Here is a practice I call the sacred hour. Choose 1 hour each day, or even 30 minutes if 1 hour feels like too much, and protect it fiercely. No television, no radio, no scrolling, just you and stillness. Make yourself a cup of tea, sit by a window, light a candle if you like, and practice this simple breathing technique that comes from the Buddhist tradition of Anapanasati, awareness of breath. Breathe in slowly, counting to 4. Hold gently for 2 counts. Breathe out slowly for 6 counts. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Do not force anything. Just breathe and notice. Notice the sensation of air entering your nostrils. Notice the gentle rise and fall of your chest. Notice how your body feels in the chair beneath you. When your mind wanders, and it will wander, that is perfectly natural. Simply notice that it has wandered and gently return to the breath. No frustration, no judgment. Simply return. You are not trying to stop thinking. You are learning to hold your thoughts more lightly, to be the sky, not the clouds. And over time, over weeks and months of this simple practice, something shifts. The silence stops feeling threatening. It starts feeling like company, rich, intelligent, deeply personal company. You are not alone in your room. You are alone with the universe. And that, my friends, is a very different thing. Now, I know that some of you are hearing all of this, and a part of you is saying, "This is beautiful, Venerable, but I still miss people. I still want to matter to someone. I still want to be needed." And to that part of you, I say, I hear you completely. And the third truth is exactly for you. The third truth is the deepest one. And it is this: you are never truly alone. You are part of something eternal. Let me ask you something. When you say you have nobody left, what do you mean exactly? You mean the people are gone, yes. You mean the phone calls have stopped. You mean the chairs at the dinner table are empty. I understand. I believe you. But let me ask you to think more carefully. Where did you come from? You came from parents who loved you enough to feed you and shelter you and carry you through your earliest years. From grandparents whose hands shaped the world you inherited. From teachers who opened books and opened minds. From friends who stayed up late talking with you. From strangers who showed you unexpected kindness at exactly the right moment. Every act of love that was ever shown to you, every warm meal, every encouraging word, every hug, every letter, every shared laugh, that love did not disappear when the person who gave it died. Love is not a thing that exists only in the body of the giver. Love is a transmission. It passes through people and into people, and it lives on. This is the heart of a teaching that the great Vietnamese Buddhist teacher Thich Nhat Hanh called interbeing. The idea that nothing and no one exists independently, that we are all, always, made up of everything and everyone who has touched us. You carry your mother in the way you make tea. You carry your father in the set of your shoulders. You carry your old friend in the jokes you still smile at, alone in a room. You carry every teacher, every neighbor, every stranger who was kind to you on a hard day. They are not gone. They live inside you. And through you, through your words, your presence, your quiet wisdom, they continue to touch the world. In Buddhist practice, there is a meditation called metta, often translated as loving kindness. It is one of the oldest and most powerful practices in the entire tradition. In metta meditation, we deliberately generate feelings of warmth, care, and goodwill, first toward ourselves, then toward those we love, then toward all beings everywhere. I want to teach it to you right now, very simply. Take a breath. Let your shoulders relax. And if it feels comfortable, let your eyes close gently. Bring your attention to your heart, not as a biological pump, but as the center of your feeling, your caring, your love. And silently repeat these words to yourself. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I be at peace. Say again with me. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I be at peace. Now, bring to mind someone you have loved and lost. A face, a voice, a feeling of being near them. Hold them gently in your mind, the way you would hold something precious. And send to them these words. May you be at peace wherever you are. May you be free from suffering. May you be held in love. Take a breath. Now expand your circle outward. Think of all the people in this world tonight. The millions of seniors sitting alone in quiet rooms, feeling exactly what you feel. People in America, in Canada, in England, in Australia, in every corner of the globe. People who are missing someone. People who wonder if they still matter. And send them this. And send them this. May all beings who are lonely tonight find peace. May all beings who are grieving find comfort. May all beings know that they are not truly alone. This practice is not just sentiment. It is not wishful thinking. It is a retraining of the mind and heart. It is choosing deliberately and repeatedly to move toward connection rather than contraction, toward openness rather than closure. And here is something remarkable that happens when you practice this. You begin to feel less alone, not because your circumstances have changed, but because your orientation has changed. You have moved from being a person isolated at the edge of the world to a person at the center of a vast, invisible web of care. Now, I want to speak directly to those of you who feel that you no longer have a purpose. that your best years of contributing are behind you. In the Buddhist tradition, there is a practice called dana, the practice of generosity, of giving, and it is considered one of the highest spiritual practices, precisely because true giving asks you to move beyond yourself. And here is what I want you to hear. You have something that no young person can offer. You have lived, you have loved and lost and survived. You have made mistakes and learned from them. You have developed a kind of patience and perspective that can only come from time. That is not nothing. That is extraordinary. There is a young person somewhere, perhaps in your neighborhood, perhaps in your family, perhaps someone you have not yet met, who is terrified about a decision they need to make, who has never seen real grief and does not know how to face it, who does not know how to keep going when things fall apart. And you do know, because you have done it. Write a letter to someone this week. Not an email, a letter with your hand on paper. Tell them something true, something you wish someone had told you at their age. Call someone who might be younger, who might need the kind of quiet wisdom that can only come from a life fully lived. Volunteer, pray, sit with a neighbor, feed a bird, tend a garden, smile at a stranger. Every act of outward kindness, no matter how small, is a reversal of isolation. You are not waiting for the world to come to you. You are moving toward it. And in that movement, something in you comes alive that loneliness can never reach. Because loneliness is the feeling of being cut off from the river of life. And dana, generosity, is throwing yourself back in. Let me bring these three truths together for you now. The first truth, impermanence is not your enemy. The people and seasons of your life were real. They happened. They shaped you in ways that will never be undone. And by releasing your grip on the past, not forgetting it, not dishonoring it, but releasing it, you free up the energy and presence needed to live fully in the time you have left. The second truth, your solitude can become a sacred space. You are not just a collection of roles and relationships. Beneath all of that, beneath the grief and the silence and the empty rooms, there is a quality of awareness that is steady, that is whole, that is, in its deepest nature, at peace. Stillness is not your punishment. It is an invitation. The third truth, you are never truly alone. You carry within you every person who has ever loved you. Their love lives in your hands, your habits, your memories, your capacity for kindness. And through the practice of metta, of deliberate, expansive, loving kindness, you can feel that connection, not as memory, but as living reality, right now, in this moment. My friends, you have lived long enough to know something that the young have not yet learned. Life does not always give us what we expect. It does not always give us what we feel we deserve. It does not negotiate with our timelines or our preferences. But wisdom is something we can always choose, in any circumstance, at any age, with any amount of time remaining. You did not come to this video by accident. Something in you is still searching, still growing, still reaching toward understanding. That reaching, that itself is the spiritual life. That is what the Buddha called walking the path. And on this path, you are never walking alone. Countless beings have walked before you. Countless beings walk beside you now, unseen but real. And the tradition itself, 26 centuries of human wisdom about suffering and freedom, that tradition is your companion. If something in this talk touched your heart, I ask only one thing of you. Share it with one person today. Not because our channel needs the views, but because somewhere, right now, there is another senior sitting in a quiet room, wondering if anyone sees them. You can be the one who says, I found something, come and see. That act of sharing, that is itself metta, that is itself the path. And if you would like to walk this path with us each week, please subscribe to Lotus Dharma Path and ring the notification bell. Every week we bring you teachings like this one, because no one should walk in the dark alone. May you be well, may you be healthy, may you be free from suffering, may you be at peace. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.